Hey, favored ones, welcome to another collective reading. Come on in and take a seat at the round table. And for any of you who would like, throw a coin in the wishing well. Today is super exciting. I went online and I just noticed I got 100 subscribers and followers. So I'm just really excited. I want to come on here and do a video and show my appreciation and um, it's just really exciting because back in December I only had like 42 followers, and for the couple of years that I was working towards it, I only had 13 for a very, very long time. And the fact that I've reached 100 and the fact that I didn't give up and my community's growing, it just makes me feel very grateful and to myself and also you for tuning in and being a part of my favored ones, and as well as helping me live out my dream of wanting to share my experiences and help others and guide others so that you don't feel so alone. Because when I was going through a lot of hard times, all I wish is that there was someone there to who had experience and gave two uh, gave 2 cents about what they were going through and how I could, navigate what the situation was at the time. Sorry, I'm just so excited. I'm just like, um, but yeah, I wanted to come on here. So for anyone who is new, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us here. And for any of those who have been subscribers since day one, A1, thank you so much for believing in me and watching my channel slowly grow over the years is motivational because I had to believe in my dream even when other people didn't see my vision. So today's reading is how you keep it 100. And that's definitely one of the things that my collective is keeping it at 100 with right now is you're keeping it 100 with yourself on your dreams and your vision and not letting anyone deterrent you or belittle you or devalue your plans, and you're not allowing them to distract you from your goals. So I have a few uh, downloads here that I wanted to go over. I was talking with one of my friends in regards to like her kid and her kid. Hi, Rosie. And Chloe was having downloads. So I feel that a lot of your children may be getting downloads and you're keeping it 100 with them. You're letting them know what's going on. You're not trying to force societal views on them. You're letting them know, like, if it's okay to believe in fairies. It's these messages that you're getting and you believe in their messages and their downloads, and you're keeping it 100 with them and letting them know that, like Saint Nicholas was an actual person, and like just trying to teach them as much as possible instead of being like, you'll understand when you're older. But how are they supposed to understand when they're older when they're not introduced to it, right? So like doing intentional spells where you like go through the room and be like, there's no monsters allowed to be here, like literally sending those lower entities away before bedtime. A lot of them could be, your kids could be covering their heads right now because they're having a crown chakra update. So you may notice that they're having a lot of head pressure. Maybe get them to wear a hat, a scarf, whatever, or just, ask that Raphael or whatever spirits you have on your team to help ease that for them while they're transitioning. Because of the work you're doing, updates the DNA of the next generation, the generations before you. So if you're doing shadow work, it will be noticeable in the family members around you. They may start to heal, or they may start to isolate away from you as a form of protection. The song that they were downloading was Royal by Lorde. It's like, never be royal. I'm also getting the word electrolytes. A lot of you could be starting to work out again, and remember to replenish your electrolytes. Or some of you are starting on your sobriety journey and your body has been without electrolytes for a while, and you're starting to incorporate healing. Yeah, you're keeping it 100 with yourself. You're giving yourself grace, knowing that you, in order to become healthy, it is a process, and you can't just expect, to be completely healed overnight. And that's how you're keeping it 100 with yourself. You're having reasonable goals and expectations of yourself. You're also keeping it 100 by calling yourself out on old habits that are no longer serving you on the timeline that you are reaching. So you're really questioning. You're like, I'm getting the Grinch in my head. Am I just eating because I'm bored? It's like, am I just eating because I'm horny? Am I throwing myself into work because I'm missing something that involves play? Like, am I becoming a workaholic because there's something that I'm missing in a creative sense for myself? So you're just keeping it 100 by keeping yourself accountable. And yeah, that's just wonderful. I love it when people are taking a mature approach and taking accountability. There's not much more you can do for yourself than take accountability and give yourself grace. So the fact that you're keeping it 100 with yourself in that way right now is so rewarding, not only for yourself now, but in the future, because instant gratification isn't a solid foundation to build on. Covering heads, channeling message. Yeah, some of your kids may be channeling messages for the household, so you're keeping it 100 by remembering that not always the parents know best, right? Of course, you have experiences and life lessons to teach to the younger generation and wisdom, but remember, sometimes the next generation is actually our great grandparent who has those lessons, who wants to come back and help us break cycles. So the way you're keeping it 100 right now is by believing your children and believing that in their messages that they're receiving. You're also believing your inner child. For those who don't have children, who may have pets, your pets might be you may notice that they're trying to keep you on routine. Of course, cats love routine. So if you incorporate your routine with theirs, they will keep you in check for sure. They are familiars. They will keep you in line. You may notice that if you aren't going to bed on time, or if you're tired, and they might lead you to the bedroom. If you notice that they notice that you need to cleanse your energy, they might be excited for you to go for a walk, or they might do sound cleansings by howling. But yeah, that was another thing I wrote down here. Intuitive nudges to cleanse the energy through songs. After being around classmates all day. So remember that your kids, especially if they are sensitive to energies more, the fact that they're sent to environments where there's a bunch of other energies being around, and most of it frustrating, because school is frustrating. So remember, when they get home, they may be a little, kicking their feet, dragging it behind, because they're not sure how to tell you what they want. You may notice that from yourself as well. Once you get home from work and you're supposed to have responsibilities, try doing a cleansing for yourself, and just remember to return the energy and call your energy back. Of course, the kid may not know how to do that, so putting on silly songs or a song reminding you of your power would be a wonderful way to, shake that school energy off. Like, I'm getting like Jimmy Neutron when he literally gets home and he goes through and like literally sprays himself down so that all of the school energies and smells and bacteria is off of him. Some of you may do a smoke cleansing when you get home, or a sound bath when you get home. Maybe just do a little twirl on your bowl. Some of your inner child may be looking to do something like that. You more spiritual path. Maybe you are looking into sound bowls just for yourself or for others, and you want to do cleansings and become a healer. And that's your inner child. And you're keeping it 100 by asking yourself those tough questions. It's like, am I happy with my job? Am I happy with my career? Do I feel satisfied and fulfilled with the way I am? How do I change things slowly, little by little, to add more things that I like within my home and my routine? So I wrote down lotus root, and lotus root can be used inside of your rituals to draw in love, strength, and abundance for yourself. Now, of course, when I say draw in love, I mean like natural love that is given freely. Don't start a wedding with a kidnapping. Some of you might like that Gallivant, I think it was the TV show. It was quite a popular show not too long ago for musicals. Some of you may enjoy musicals, but inside of this musical TV show, there was the king being like, don't start a wedding, don't start a marriage with a kidnapping, because like doing love spells. And just letting you know, spirit will not align with the love spell, and it will break over time, so you will not ever get them. An obsession sucks. It's usually with mugwort, or you can ask your guides to break it as well, if anyone who is dealing with that. I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen, because I had one put on me at one point and it was annoying, and not being able to just literally talk to people. So you're keeping it 100 by realizing that real love is better than fake love. You know, none of this fool's gold. You want the real gold. You want real love and strength and abundance. You don't want to be building your sandcastle right next to the shoreline in order for waves to just keep pulling it down, right? So either way, that got me off topic. Lotus root in rituals. What this means to me is that this time you can be making self-love potions. You can be making strength and abundance, money rituals. A lot of you could put a green candle with a bunch of money. You could do offerings to Anubis or Hades. Hades really loves poems. If you wanted to write him a poem. Anubis is usually like black tourmaline. And Himmenite crystals you could give as offerings for those who do altar offerings. Yeah, I have these whiskers here from my kitty. Some of you may be doing a protection, because it is also used in bindings and removing of hexes. So some of you may be doing protection spells at this time. Some of you may want to notice that your cats have less whiskers around. That's usually a sign that they give protection. You can put those whiskers in the container in order to add their essence to the spell, in order to add them to the protection, even though they're pretty protected. But it also adds potency as well, because cats are very magical. You may notice, like, from your dog and stuff like that too. I'm not sure if they redo their whiskers. I knew they have them though. You can do it with the sheddings from your like tarantulas or snakes and like dragon bearded dragon, stuff like that. You can add those as well, or you can add a feather if you're it's molting season for, and like priming from your birds as well. I just want to make sure that everyone is included, and I think that's how you're keeping it 100, is by being inclusive. So yeah, let's get into it. I think that's everything that I had written down. So yeah, everyone who's coming through and leaving messages and talking to me on my posts, and you know, new subscribers, I really appreciate it. Like, getting to talk with you, it was I don't know, it just makes me really giddy going and like constantly talking and making videos and not knowing if anyone would even see them, to having, you know, conversations and getting to know you and reaching out and seeing your dreams coming true is like super amazing, because that's part of my utopia. We always talk about welcoming utopia. Actually, we hadn't this video yet. Anyone who is new, over here for energies to, in order to heighten the vibration. Some people do sound cleansing, some people do a meditation, some people do a prayer. I do something called Welcoming In Utopia, where you get to sit there and think about your personal things that would feel like utopia to you. That if that's everyone getting fresh water, if that's people getting homes to stay at, which for me is a very big thing that I'm on, because where I'm living, the police took down the encampments for the people who are houseless. No one's ever homeless. Home is where the heart is. So for the people who are houseless, and it's been a lot of pressure and sadness in the air around where I am. So it's been really hard getting on here while trying to cleanse those energies around. So that's something that I want for my personal utopia, especially since I was houseless myself until January 1st of last year. At this time last year, I didn't even have my own bed. I didn't have anything. I was waiting for insurance to even go over the information from when I went through the fire. So I know firsthand that what it's like, especially since I moved out at 16. I've been on the streets a few times myself, and I hate to see it. So for me personally, that would be my utopia, is knowing everyone has somewhere to sleep, everyone has a full belly, everyone has clean drinking water. And it's sad that my utopia is a bare minimum. I think you keep it on 100 by showing the people that you won't accept the bare minimum, and that you're following your intuition. That's how you're keeping it 100 right now. You're following your intuition. You're no longer doubting yourself, and it's making you fruitful. For some of you, this is starting your spiritual path in regards to like doing runes, prana healing, reflexology. Some of you may be getting your first tarot or oracle card. You're keeping it 100 by trusting your intuition on your spiritual path right now. I almost forget what the other column is, but yeah, some of you maybe resonate with the last reading I did in regards to prosperity. Yeah, you're keeping it 100 right now by sharing the wealth. And I don't mean this in just a monetary sense. Of course, you may be donating in a monetary sense. I'm feeling like you're keeping it 100 by bringing justice and sharing the wealth. By justice, by speaking your truth, telling your story so people don't feel alone, by telling other people's stories so that their stories can be heard. I feel like you're sharing the wealth by shouting out people, by allowing others to put links and like just promoting other people and their dreams. Allowing other people to ask you questions about your journey and, sharing that wealth of knowledge. Maybe it took you 10 years in the music industry to figure things out, and now in turn, you are helping people create their dreams in 1 year. And instead of being grouchy about it or jealous or hard on yourself for taking so long, you're inspired and happy that it doesn't take so long anymore for people to get recognized. And people are recognizing you for that. Real recognizes real. You look familiar. Yeah, people are starting to realize that you look familiar. You may have came out of nowhere onto the scene, and now you're making a name for yourself. And the name isn't just that you're talented, it's that you have heart. How are they keep it 100, please, spirit guides, guardians, ancestors? Can we keep how my favored ones are keeping it 100? Every time I say it, I get a little excited. I honestly had almost given up on myself at like a couple of months ago, and like in October, and I had been talking with my other friend who owns a channel, who's taking a break from it at this time. What was the last one that she had it as? Nene in the Building, I think, was the last version of it. I was talking with her, and she was like giving me advice and saying that I had shown improvement and to not give up. And I said if nothing had changed by my birthday, I was going to take a break for a while and just focus on my music career. And like 2 months later, now we have growth, and like I feel like you wanted to give up on yourself at one point, but you kept it 100, and you were like, you want to know what? Just because I don't have a large audience doesn't mean I don't have one at all. And if I could help one person, even that if that person is me, I'm gonna do it. And it was helping me. And that's the reason why I did continue, is I realized it was helping me. I was becoming more confident on screen and in real life as well, going up on stage at performances on rap nights. I was getting more confident. I wasn't looking down at people's feet as much. I was taking in the environment. I was going up and talking in the circle. I wasn't just waiting around for everyone else to say something. I was no longer being an indentured wallflower. Being a wallflower never paid me no mind. Why should I pay it? I'm going to pay it no mind instead. So I feel like that's what's happening for you, is that you're realizing that this dream is not only for others and yourself, it's also like a part of the plan. Like, you're starting to see how it's divinely orchestrated and how it is unfolding naturally. A lot of you may have been trigger warning, may have been wanting to check out for a while, and now you're realizing why you stayed. And some of you may be even thanking yourself and being like, wow, I'm so glad I stayed, because then I wouldn't have been able to receive all this beautifulness. And I feel like that's how you're keeping it 100 with yourself right now, is by realizing how things are getting better for you, or how they're falling into place. Even if at this time it's falling apart, for some of you, this is in the stage you're in. You're in the cocoon stage, and you're not sure which way's up, which way's down. Kind of feeling like Clary off of the Immortal Instruments, when she's trying to get the the immortal sword from the lake, which I believe is like the Excalibur, and Lady in the Lake reference for for Camelot and such. Definitely feel like there's ties to that. But you're realizing that you are the real deal. That's how you're keeping it 100 right now, is you're realizing you're the real deal. Because inside of history, there is considered to be 2 Excaliburs. Yeah. There was the one in the sword, and then there's the one that he gets from the lake. And you realize the first sword of Excalibur that was pulled from the sword, from the stone, ended up breaking. And then King Arthur had to go to the Lady of the Lake, who I think is Freya, by the way. I have gone down the rabbit hole, and I believe that's Freya. So yeah, Freya has ties, and Norse people who are, I feel, are the Teltuga. I don't think I said that right, but elves. I believe that they're the Elven people who just moved on to be considered in a different realm, so they're considered to be gods. But you thought that you were this broken sword, and I feel like you weren't that version of yourself. You thought the version of yourself that was broken was going to be the only version of you to ever exist. But I feel like you're that hidden sword that has depth to you, that just hadn't reached the circus yet. Circus. Some of you may have worked with the circus. Hadn't reached the surface yet. Some of you have gotten out of the mud. Yeah, some people thought they broke you because they teared you down when you weren't even your actual version. Like, you weren't even in your final form. You were like, yeah, you were making fun of, you thought I was broken because I was that different sword. No, actually, I'm Excalibur. Yeah, the Fool. You're going on an adventure and taking a leap of faith. Some of you may have been musicians and now you're becoming writers, and vice versa. Some of you may have been, you're transitioning and taking, like, some of you may have been in massage therapy and now you want to be a judge for tournaments. You know, you can decide to be anything you want, because even if you were healing people and it's just not what you were, it's just not, you know, healing people doesn't always mean that it's going to make that spark within you. Not everyone's supposed to come here to be healers. And that's how you're keeping it 100, is by knowing that you are a complete being. And you don't just have to be one thing. You are a multifaceted individual. You are not just a poet. You are also a human. You are not just a human and a poet. You are also a video game player. You are not just a video game player, but you know how to cook. You are so many things. You know, like a Swiss Army knife. Just really ready to, like, whip out any kind of skill. I feel like the full quote for you is relevant. Hold on, let me get it. There it is. The complete saying: a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one. Well, people may have associated jack of all trades with negativity. It was never meant to be negative. It was actually a compliment, because it means that you are skilled and you have many, many things that you can offer. Would you rather have an offer from one thing that could be really good very well, or would you rather be able to do a bunch of things? And that's what we are as a human. As humans, we are not just to be a master of one thing. We are here to experience so many different things. May we become a master of one? If I become a master of anything during this lifetime, I want to become the master of myself. I want to master my emotions. I want to master my dreams. I want to master my my laughter. And what makes me happy. I want to master what makes me happy. And I feel like that's what's happening for you right now, is that you're taking that leap of faith with your intuition towards mastering yourself. Mastery of oneself is what you're working towards. You're keeping it 100 by mastering yourself and realizing that it's not outside of you, it's within you. As within, so without. As above, so below. You know it. So that's what I really feel for you at this time, is that you were never meant to just be one thing. We were never meant to be just one thing. We were meant here to experience a lifetime of opportunities, of experiences. A lifetime of experiences. Especially when I was inside of Science of Well-Being. If you want to look that up, it's a free course. It was one of the things that really helped me towards my healing process when I was going through a dark night of soul. And during a dark night of soul, you're not really connecting to spirituality. So a lot of people would be like, you don't need mental health if you got spirituality. But I feel like that's spiritual bypassing. And sometimes when you're going through a dark night of a soul, you still deserve to heal. So some of you may not agree with that, and that's okay. It's not my job to come up here and teach you what you should believe. If anyone's trying to tell you what to believe, they're selling something. And I'm not the one who wants to sell that. I ain't got all the answers, okay? Sway in the morning up in here. Actually, Sway had a bunch of good answers. I'm not gonna say he didn't. I can't shuffle those ones this way. I'm just a little black rain hovering over the honey tree. Some of you really might like honeybees. Some of your names may be Christopher. I'm also getting Bartok the Magnificent, so some of you may resonate with the story from Anastasia. You may be from Russia. Because I'm getting the, when Bartok goes in, I give a Heya. And a Heya, and I kick her, sir. So some of you may be keeping it 100 by going and learning how to master your body again. Yeah, to mastering your strengths and your, knowing what you are able to do at this time, not pushing yourself at the gym and not being hard on yourself, keeping it 100 on what your capabilities are at this time, and being, not being hard on yourself. Like, for some of you, if you have a lot of like injuries that you may have sustained over life, I don't know, through accidents or even DV, domestics, you could look into kinesiology, which is when you've already gone through physio and it just wasn't able to repair itself. There's still assisted workouts for you out there if you still want to take care of your body and within knowing your limits. It's not it's not, you're keeping it 100 by knowing when you need assistance, whether it's financial, whether you need to do assisted push-ups. Yeah, I don't call them girly over here. They are called assisted because they're for everyone who needs assistance. Some of you may need to hear that because we've been, with misogyny, we've been told that certain workouts are considered to be less than, when in reality, working out at all should be, you know, congratulated if that's what you want to do. Like, if you're taking the time to work there and do what you need to, then it should be congratulated, not being like, oh, you're not doing a full push-up, you're not a real athlete. And it's like, I'm not trying to be a real athlete, I'm trying to take really good care of myself. And I feel like that's how you're keeping it 100, is you're not allowing other people to speak ill towards you, and you're putting up boundaries. Can we get one Muse card for our spirit, for our favored ones, please, spirit, guides, guardians, and ooh, I'll do it. I'll take it. I'll do it. Okay. The Hierophant. Yeah, definitely divinely orchestrated at this time. A lot of you may be noticing that you're a bigger deal than what you had originally thought. Some of you may have went through a tower moment with the lanterns being on here from Tangled, and it always reminds me, and in Tangled, the tower moment wasn't the worst part, and some of you may be scared of a tower moment. Tower doesn't always indicate a bad time for me, as especially in the movie, when the tower moment happened was when Flynn Rider Fitzgerald came through, and yeah, the lanterns were the reason why she figured out who she really was. So I feel like there's lanterns, little love notes coming from your spirit guides to remind you just how big you are and just how big you should be dreaming. Yeah, I feel like you're no longer going to be living in the shadow of what you had, of what woulds and what ifs and who I should be and I should have been further in my life by now kind of situation, with that little thing left in the speck in the dark. And the I feel like you're you're becoming bigger than the shadow of what you thought you should be. Yeah. You're going to be way bigger than the shadow of what you thought you were going to be. Some of you may have reminisced about what you could have possibly accomplished by now. And you're starting to realize that that's a back burner kind of thought. It's not really getting you to where you want to go. It's not building that great big boat for you to sail the ocean. A lot of you may have a giant. Some of you may work with the giant elements or gnomes with the different sizes going on. Yeah, you're definitely being divinely guided right now so not only are you listening to your intuition and taking the leap of faith, but you're also keeping it 100 by knowing that you were meant to be. Your dreams are bigger than what you had. The dreams in the mirror are bigger than they appear. It's almost like it's coming on you in the rear view, like you're seeing it come up on you. You're seeing your dreams like slowly creep up on you from behind the car, and you're like, oh, it's further away than I expected. But honestly, it's like one of those trick mirrors and like a fun house and stuff like that, where you think that it's kind of, you're cutting through distortion. Yes, because fun house mirrors are distorting. So you are cutting through distortion at this time, and that's how you're keeping it 100. You are making sure that you are living through clarity instead of distortion. And number 5, big changes. Ooh. I think the snow shifted. Wish I could remember what the other column meant inside of the High Priestess. I'll definitely have to look that up later. Some of you may want to look that up. I know one stands for justice. I think the other one stands for benevolence. 5, Hierophant. A spiritual teacher, finding the guru within, failing or updating systems, crumbling institutions or beliefs, new faiths shining, hollow things. A spiritual journey. A tiny traveler has journeyed so far to be here in this place, with this muse of perfection and light. And when she finally arrives at the foot of this oracle, she hopes that her guru will see her and gift her with a slice of wisdom as results of her unwavering faith. Wanting to make sure she performs the ritual perfectly, she starts a small fire to warm her soul and begins to craft her devotional lanterns, as most do when they arrive to this place. As she works, a voice floods her awareness. Sweet soul, thank you for visiting me. I ask you look at the form in front of you. Are you worshiping me for the way I look? Ooh, I feel like this is a message from your inner soul to yourself here. It's like, sweet soul, your inner self wants to say this to you. Sweet soul, thank you for visiting me. I ask you look at the form in front of you. So you to yourself, your soul is talking to your body because your soul picked your body and you are a soul in a body having a human experience. I'm so excited. Okay, sorry, I keep interrupting. Actually, I'm not sorry. I'm excited and I'm going to be excited and I ain't gonna apologize for it. I ask you look at me, at the form in front of you. Are you worshiping me for the way I look? Or are you worshiping me for the way I act? Or do you worship the same? Or do we worship the same? Aren't we the same, you and I? The muse winks and continues. Ooh, airplane confirmation. You are taking off. You are going viral. You are traveling. You are abundant. Whether this is astral traveling, whether this is traveling the airwaves with your music or your spoken poetry form, traveling by like literally maybe truck drivers and like delivery workers. Aren't we the same, you and I? The muse winks and continues. And there lies the secret, beautiful heart. I see you. I see your profound wisdom. And I see that now it is time to lead yourself in service. Dear teacher, sacred mentor, dear loving leader guide, I am deeply grateful for your heart, untethered, net cast wide. That is so beautiful. Oh, it was 444 when I was reading that. I just realized. That's exciting. Quadruple force. So yes, stability of the highest form. You are going to find stability within your mind, body, and soul. That's how you're keeping it 100, is by knowing that you are complete and 100. And you are going to treat yourself like 100. And you're going to find balance between the mind, body, and soul. You're keeping it 100 by knowing that we are also just a human inside of a, souls inside of a human body, having a human experiences over many dimensional parallel lives. So remember that when you're being hard on yourself, is that there's a parallel life where you got it right and they're experiencing that for you. So you make sure that you experience these energies and emotions. Like I said, if I could become a master of anything, if I could be a master of anything, it would be myself. But alas, I'm not quite there yet, so I will be a jack of all trades until I become master of one. All right. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I'm so excited. 100 followers. 100. So, yeah, and also I love that I get to talk with you inside of the comments. It really is just such a relief, and I feel like a lot of you are going to be feeling relief here soon. So I just want to keep it 100 with you as well. Thank you, everyone, for coming through, and yeah, remember to eat, hydrate, and to have fun, because that's the best part. Okay, bye.